Welcome back, everybody. The battery ran out on the last one, so I really couldn't show you the floor all in here. What I'm going to do is, I don't know if you can see, they raise up a little bit, is I'm just going to throw a screw down through here and there along the edges to keep it from lifting. Plywood has a tendency to do that. I'm also going to anchor this down. This is going to be the back wall, and so I got to anchor this down. So I got some nice long 2 3/4 inch self-tapping screws. I'm going to throw those in and then start putting up these 2x3s where each of the ribs are. So I build this out a little bit. Give us a nailing place and a spot for more insulation. So let me get doing that. Now, just because the package says that they're self-drilling screws doesn't mean they really are. So, I mean, I already busted one trying to go through this aluminum. It's just easier. Drill a pilot hole. And it goes right in. So in my rush to get the floor down yesterday, I almost forgot, well, I did forget yesterday, this is the access to the top of the gas tank. Unlike buses where they're on the side or whatever, this one's mounted between the frames behind the axle. So what I'm going to do is frame this out like so, and then I got to cut the foam around it, and we'll have a piece of foam that'll go in it, piece of plywood that goes in it, and the finished flooring will eventually go right over the top of it. So this will, in future, if needed, be able to access that just by knowing it's just behind the wheel wells in the center. So yeah, a little bit of cutting, a little bit of screw this all down, and then I can get back to doing what I was doing. Got the access all framed out, and now I've got to cut the hole, fit around that. So what I'm going to do is something called a plunge cut. I've got the 2x3s underneath it, so it's not, this is clear and it's not going to be in the way. But the way you do a plunge cut is very, very carefully. You take and you get it lined up, get it close to the back end here, and with the blade not contacting the wood, fire it up. Just like that. I do the 4 sides. Now the corners are going to be a little off, and I'll get to that in a moment. So the way I do the corners is with this little jigsaw. Sure, you could use a handsaw. But what good's it having cool tools if you don't use them? Says here in the instructions, this is gonna fit. I was so close. It's just, this board is, I cut a little off here. So I'll just trim that down and it'll fit. It says so. And I'm going to tape around the seam. I'm going to screw it down, and then I'll tape around the seam just to make sure it's sealed. And I got to cut the piece to go in there, and then I can go back to attaching the floor and working on the walls. There we go. This is nice, tight friction fit. I'm going to tape around it, and if somebody needs to get in here, they get under the floor. And when I do the flooring, I'll make a little hatch. All right, so I'm putting in 2x3s that'll give us 2.5 inches of space here. So basically I'm building the wall out just a little. So I'll do this and we'll move on to the next step. Well, that's the end of that day. I think I did pretty good. So I got all the studs on that wall, the studs on this wall until I get here where I've got to play around, because that's the pocket where the door slides into. And again, we're going to bump it out, and I got the frame around the back door and a few of the rafters in. So tomorrow I should be able to get a few more rafters in, well, at least up to here, and I can get the insulation. So tomorrow, 4 rafters, and I start sliding the insulation up there, and start a little bit on this. So it's coming along. So like I said, this is not meant to be a how-to video. This is how we're doing it to suit her specific needs. So, more to come. See you next time, YouTube. Hey, don't fall over.